lots of different types of burning rituals. There's no right way or wrong way to do this, but I'm going to just talk you through a typical burning ritual that I do. So why do we do a burning ritual? The reason for doing burning rituals is to release things that we don't want to hold on to anymore, things that are stopping us from manifesting, stopping us from shining our light and stepping into our power. But also another reason that we do burning rituals is to invite things into our lives. So invite feelings, invite circumstances, invite the things that we want to manifest into our lives. And burning rituals are an amazing way to do this, particularly around a full moon or a new moon. The moon's energy around the time when it's full or new is amazing for releasing things and calling things in. So you can do it anytime, but I love to do it around those times. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the steps of like my typical burning ritual that I like to do. And the first step is to set up a sacred space. So when I say set up a sacred space, what I mean is just a space where you can feel safe and calm. Okay, so you can use candles, you can use incense, you can use crystals, you can have crystals there, you can have little trinkets that feel good to you, totems, essential oils to cleanse the energy in the area, just anything that feels good to you, that's going to help put you in a frame of mind where you feel safe. Okay, and you can do this inside or outside. I feel so much more connected to source when I'm outside, so I love doing it outside and using the chimenea. But obviously for those of us living in the UK, that comes with challenges in the winter, so it's absolutely fine to do it inside as well. And if I do it inside, I tend to use my little cast iron cauldron, or little witchy pot as my son calls it, and that's really good because it's fireproof and I just love it. So whatever you do use, just please make sure you're safe. I really do not want to be responsible for burning down your house. Like, I do not want you explaining to your partners, well, but Lee told us to do it. Like, please do it safely in some kind of container or pot that is fireproof, preferably with a lid. Okay, and if I'm outside, then I use the chimenea. So that is your first step. And also just make sure you're not going to have any disturbances, because you really want to be in the zone, and you don't want to be disturbed. You want your intention to be clear, and I'll explain that in a bit. So, having kids running around and stuff probably isn't the best idea, or inquisitive partners that want to know this weird thing that you're doing. This is about using the natural element of the earth's fire to purify, to cleanse, and to call in what we want. Okay, so the second step is grounding. So we want to feel good when we do this. Doing a burning ritual when you're feeling really stressed or really pissed off or really upset or anything like that just isn't, it's going to cause resistance, and it's going to interfere with your intentions. So I would suggest that if you have had a stressful day, if you are feeling a bit crappy, go for a walk in nature, do a meditation, use music to lift your vibration, just something that's going to make you feel good. Okay, you want to be doing this when you feel good. And once you do, then you're going to ground yourself. And the best way to do this, or the easiest, there's lots of ways to do this, but the easiest way to ground yourself is just to sit with your feet flat on the ground, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and focus on your breath. And with every breath in, imagine bringing in the energy from the earth up into your body. Okay, so you're drawing in the earth's energy, and every time you breathe out, you imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet and shooting down into the earth and anchoring you in the earth, just to ground you. Okay, and that's a really important part of this process. And then the third step is to set your intentions. Okay, so once you feel grounded, you're going to write down your intentions. And the reason I like to write things down is, first of all, it gives you something to burn, obviously. But second of all, also, as you write, you're transferring the energy of your intention onto that paper. Okay, so everything is energy. I talk about this a lot. absolutely everything is energy. Everything we think, everything we are, everything we say, do, feel is energy. So when you're writing, you're transferring that energy onto the paper. And I usually have 2 pieces of paper. You can do it on the same piece of paper, but I like to have 2. And the first thing I do on the first piece of paper is I write down the things, the feelings and circumstances and whatever it is that I want to release and get rid of from my life. Okay, it's no longer welcome in my life and I want it gone. So that's what I do first. And you can do it in the form of a list if you want, so just like bullet points. But if you do that, then do title the list. So, you know, things I release. Things I release, that could be the title for the list. Just so your intention is clear. And then just bullet point the things that you want to release. Or you can do it in almost like the form of a letter. So, dear universe, I release, and then whatever it is you release. And then I write down everything that I want to call in. So everything that I want to manifest. And again, you can do that in the form of a bullet pointed list with a heading, you know, things I manifest, things I'm calling in. Or you can do it in the form of a letter. So, dear universe, I am so grateful for, and then whatever it is you want to draw in. When you want to release something, it's really important that you're really, really willing to release it. So, you know, you don't have to know how you're going to release it or what that's going to look like. You may feel really stuck, and you may be unsure that you can release it, but you have to be willing, okay? You don't have to know the hows, whens, and wherefores. The universe will take care of that, but you have to have that willingness, okay? If you don't want to release something, it's not going to happen if you're not really willing to let it go. Some people hold on to things that keep them stuck because they identify so strongly with it that they don't know who they are without it. And you know, consciously, they may be thinking, I don't want this in my life. I don't want to feel this way anymore. But actually, subconsciously, they're really holding on to that because they don't know how to identify themselves without it. It may be scary to let go of things, and some people aren't ready to do that, you know, with certain things. You know, we've all been there. So all I would say is that you just have to have the willingness to let it go. Just be willing. You don't have to know how, but just be willing. And then let the universe take care of the house in its own creative way. Okay, so step 4, which is the most exciting step, is the actual burning. So so when we burn something, that energy is transmuted. So the energy of what we want to release and what we want to call in is transmuted, is sent out to the universe. Energy can't be destroyed, but it can be changed, and I truly believe that it can be transmuted by the earth or by the universe. So don't be worried about sending crappy energy out, because you know the universe transmutes that energy and reuses it, and it becomes positive. So that's what happens when we burn something. That energy is released to the universe and transmuted. So I always burn the list of things that I want to release first, because I truly believe that when we release the things that keep us stuck in our lives, we make space for drawing in the things that we really want. We make space for the miracles in our lives. So it's really important to release those things first. It's hard to call in good things and new things and exciting things into our lives when we haven't made space for that by releasing the old stuff, okay? It's like clearing out your wardrobe of all the clothes that haven't fitted you for the last 10 years and getting a lovely new wardrobe, okay? It's just like that. You are not going to fit those new clothes in your wardrobe while you're still holding on to the ones that ain't never going to fit you anymore, okay? I know this. I've been there. So I burn the list of things I want to release first. And when I do that with intention. And that's really key here, okay? Intention is everything when it comes to, when it comes to everything, really. Certainly when it comes to manifesting. So as I light the piece of paper with the things that I want to release on, I will voice my intention. So I might say something like, Dear universe, I release these feelings, things, and circumstances. And if I have not yet learned the lessons that they were meant to bring me, I vow to learn those lessons in a different way that makes me feel good and is lighter and better for me, for my highest good. Okay, and then I'll burn it. And the interesting thing here is when you burn the things that you want to release, and I've seen this a lot with, when I hold meditation workshops, we often do these a sort of shorter version of these rituals, these burning rituals. And what I've found, seeing so many people do it, is that those that struggle to let go of the things that, if they're still holding on to those things and they don't really have that willingness to let it go, it's really hard to make those pieces of paper light up. Like, they will sit there and light it and light it and light it, and it just does not want to burn. And I find that so interesting, and that is literally because the energy attached, as I said before, when you writing these lists of things you want to release, your energy is transferring onto the paper. And if your energy is going, I'm saying I want to release this, but really I'm not ready to release it yet, then that's the energy on the paper. And when that energy meets the energy of the fire, it hits it hard, and it's quite hard to make those pieces of paper take light. So if you're struggling to burn that piece of paper with your list of things that you want to release, then that might be a little sign to you to do a bit more work on your willingness to release those things, releasing the old and making way for the new. So second, I burn the list of things that I want to call in, the list of things that I want to manifest. And again, I do so with intention. So as I light it, I might say something like, Dear universe, I invite these feelings, things and circumstances into my life now, for my highest good, to better serve myself and others, and to keep my heart open. And then I'll burn it. And it's really lovely to just imagine, as you see the smoke sort of come up, just imagine those intentions being sent out to the universe. And then finally, I take some deep breaths and I rub my hands together. And the reason I do this is it's just cleansing me of attachment to the good and the bad. So the things that I've wanted to release and the things that I've wanted to call in, I release the energy of attachment to those things. It's really important to release the outcome of that which you want. So you let the universe know what you want, and you give focus to that often, because we know we need to do that. You get more of what you focus on, but you don't become so attached to the outcome that you're trying to control the way it happens to you. How the universe is going to deliver that to you may be very different from how you imagine it. Okay, and again, I say this a lot, but I can promise you that the plans that you have in your head for how something is going to come your way might be very different from the plans that the universe has. And if you just release your attachment to your own idea of how these things are going to come to you, you open yourself up to the most amazing and exciting ways that the universe will bring these things to you. The universe does things in a very creative way, and it's such fun to sit back and watch how that happens, watch how that unfolds for you. And it's at those times where you'll be like, oh my God, who would have thought? Like those synchronicities and so-called coincidences, which aren't coincidences at all. And it makes life really fun and exciting watching how that unfolds. And I can't stress enough that if you're really strongly attached to the outcome, you're blocking that outcome. You're adding resistance into the mix, and you're stopping the universe from giving it to you in the creative ways that it wants to. So ultimately, having that attachment is actually stopping you from getting what you want. So it's really, really important to release that attachment. And it's such a freeing feeling when you do. It just opens you up to like, hey, whatever. Like, I know that I'm going to get what I want. And if I don't, it will be something better. So it can be tough, but it is really freeing, and it helps you not to feel so stressed when things aren't going your way, because you're like, okay, so that didn't happen, what better thing is coming my way? You know, what better reason is there for it to have happened this way? And it's almost like you can be an observer and sit back and watch the universe do its magic. And if you can think of yourself as just this observer who has control because you're letting the universe know what you want, and then instead of, you know, obsessing on the outcome, just concentrate on your vibration. Concentrate on keeping your vibration high, because the more you can do that, the more likely you are to attract those things that you're trying to call in.